All right, let's talk about a term that makes a lot of developers, kind of cringe: spec-driven development. It just conjures up these images of old, dusty, rigid processes. But what if I told you that's completely wrong? What if this is actually the key to building software faster and way, way better than ever before? See, when you hear spec-driven, your mind probably jumps straight to the dreaded waterfall model, right? These enormous, inflexible documents, and a process that just moves at a snail's pace. But is that really a fair comparison? Or is modern spec-driven development something else entirely? So first things first, let's clear the air and just tackle the biggest myth head on. This idea that we're just talking about the waterfall model with a new coat of paint. We're going to break down exactly why that is a huge misunderstanding. And this is where the insights from engineer Mark Brooker are so helpful. The typical complaint is that if you write a spec first, you're locking yourself into this rigid, top-down process. But that view just completely misses the whole point of this modern approach. So where's the disconnect? Well, the modern way isn't about trying to cram all the design work in at the very beginning. It's about a fundamental shift in where we design and how we think about it. This quote just nails it. Upfront design. That sounds like a rigid one-and-done deal, right? Something you do at the start and never touch again. But pulling designs up, that means we're elevating our focus. We're moving away from the tiny details of implementation and up to the higher-level architecture and requirements. Think about it like this. Old waterfall specs were basically carved in stone. You wrote them once, and that was it. Modern specs, though, they're living documents. They're version controlled right there with the code, and they are built to change and evolve with every single iteration. And look, this doesn't throw Agile out the window. Not at all. It's actually an evolution of it. The big difference is that now your iteration loop is focused on the specification, not just the code. You are still collaborating, you are still responding to change, but you're doing it at a higher, more strategic level. Now, this shift is more than just a change in process. It's absolutely critical for the next wave of development, the one that's going to be powered by AI agents. Let's dig into why. Right now, a lot of us use AI by feeding it these small, specific prompts, like, hey, write me a function that does X. That's basically like giving someone turn-by-turn directions. It works, sure, but they have no idea where they're ultimately going, why they're going there, or what the destination is even supposed to look like. A specification, on the other hand, is the full map. It gives the AI agent the complete context, the terrain, the final destination, all the possible routes. Suddenly, the AI understands the why behind the what. And when the AI has this map, it becomes so much more powerful. It can see the big picture, so it can make smarter choices on its own. It knows the success criteria, so it can actually test its own work. This means it can work productively for way longer, and the code it produces is just better designed and higher quality. So what's the payoff for all this? It's huge. A massive acceleration in development velocity. By handing the AI a clear map, our teams can offload all those implementation details and really focus on design. And that lets them ship features and whole products at a speed that was honestly unimaginable before. So what does this actually look like in practice? Let's break down this new Agile loop. And we're not replacing the old cycle. We're supercharging it with AI. So the process becomes this incredibly rapid, powerful cycle. Humans, the developers, the product managers, they focus on defining and refining the specification. Then the AI agent gets to work, building the actual software from that spec. Real users give feedback on the product, and that feedback flows right back into the next revision of the spec. And you just repeat. Now, it's so important to get this right. This process does not replace human developers. Far from it. It actually elevates their role, making them more strategic and more impactful than they've ever been. What happens is humans get to level up. You're no longer writing boilerplate, low-level code. You get to focus on the things humans are uniquely good at: high-level design, untangling tricky and conflicting requirements, and making those really complex trade-offs that require real-world experience and deep expertise. When you zoom out from all of this, you start to see that this isn't just another methodology. It's really the next logical step in the long evolution of software development itself. I mean, think about it. The entire history of programming is a story of climbing a ladder of abstraction. We went from literally flipping physical switches to assembly, then to high-level languages like Python and Java, and every single step made us more productive by hiding complexity. Moving from code to specifications, it's just the next rung on that ladder. So ultimately, that's what this is all about. We are fundamentally redefining the craft of software development. We're shifting from a world where we obsess over implementation details to one where we focus on elegant design. In this new world, the most important artifact isn't the code, it's the clear, concise, and constantly evolving specification. This whole shift frees us up from the tedious side of implementation and lets us pour our energy into what really matters: creativity, design, and solving really tough, real-world problems. So the question isn't just what you'll build, but with that freedom, what incredible things will you finally be able to design?